Welcome to another episode of Real Estate the Right Way with your host, Michael Wright, residential realtor on Long Island, New York, bringing you the best educational content when it comes to real estate. So far in this series of how to buy a house, we've covered the two main steps of buying a house. First you find it, then you buy it. It's that simple. And we've also talked about the Holmes law in general, and also we went pretty deep into how to define your budget and how the price of the house combined with the property taxes can make up your monthly payment, which is really what the bank is looking at when you get pre-approved. Today, we're going to be talking about the location and the home itself, how to really dive into what we're looking for, and the questions that I ask my clients when we sit down to define what their family needs. So if you find value in this content, please like, subscribe, don't forget to comment, hit that bell so you're always notified of new videos as they come online, and thank you so much for watching. So when I sit down with my clients, we've defined the budget, and then we talk about what they're looking for. And it's not so much, we ultimately get to what they're looking for, but first we start with why they're looking for it. And to determine why they're looking for a home, we first start with who and how. So first, who will be living in the home? How many bedrooms do we need? How many bathrooms do we need? What kind of other living spaces will the family be utilizing? So that could be kind of how they're going to use it, right? So who's going to be living in the home and how are they going to use it? I've heard things like, my kids like to play outside, so we need a big backyard. We like to entertain, so having a pool is important to us. We do a lot of cooking, so a large kitchen with a lot of counter space is important. We have live-in help, so we need separate quarters, whether that be an in-law, an au pair, or whatever the case may be. We need a separate living space that has certain amenities for that apartment. Or maybe, listen, I work nights. I need a basement that is super quiet and dimly lit during the day, so I can actually get some shut-eye, so I can get back to work at whatever time we start. Who's going to live there and how they're going to utilize a home is the most important questions that you need to ask yourself before you really start out in a home search. It's easy to say, well, I want 3 or 4 bedrooms, I need 2.5 bathrooms, I would love a big yard, pool's important, maybe some tennis courts, full basement, I want a media room, 2-car garage, the fireplace. Like, the list of what you could incorporate into a house is endless. But the must-haves really boil down to who's in the house and how are you going to utilize the house based on the people that are living in it. So we take a look at that, the house itself, and we define what the must-haves are, and then also what are the nice-to-haves. Because if everything is a must-have, the houses that are going to fit that criteria are going to be few and far between. So not only are we going to have less homes to look at, the houses that we find are actually going to be more desirable to us, and that may mean it'll command a little bit of a higher price because they're harder to find, right? Everything is all about supply and demand. And if there's less of something, ultimately we kind of have to pay more for it. And then we also want to look at the location. That could be a specific town that we'd like to be in, or if kids are a factor, we want to look at school districts, and maybe we search by the school district as opposed to the specific towns, because sometimes school districts actually don't follow the exact town line. As an example, there's a section of Patchogue that actually goes to Bayport Blue Point School District. So if we just searched Bayport and Blue Point, but really the goal is to be in Bayport Blue Point schools, we could be missing a couple houses that are in that sliver of Patchogue that actually go to Bayport Blue Point schools. And then we also look at, right, we go back to who's living in the house. Do we want to be close to a train station, close to a beach, close proximity to a downtown, or would the people that are living in the home feel more comfortable out in the country, away from the noise, in a quiet, more nature setting? What's important to you, and maybe where do you work? How long do you want your commute to be? What's more important, perhaps, school district or the time that you get to spend with your family as opposed to commuting back and forth to your place of business? We take a look at all these questions and all these circumstances to dial in on what your must-haves are and where we absolutely want to be. And then once we've defined the what based on the how, the who, and the why, we go take a look at some houses, whether it be online or in person, and we see whether or not the vision of what you want, where you want it, is within the budget. And if it is, that's fantastic. Then we go to the next step, which is buying it. If it's not, which it's okay if it's not like right there immediately, we play with a couple of these different factors, right? Everything, a home search is a fluid process, and we're always kind of adjusting and dialing in to get us closer to the home that's right for you. So if what we're looking for, where we're looking for it, isn't in the budget, I mean, I guess the simplest thing would be to move the budget. Simple in theory, maybe not in reality. Sometimes the budget is what the budget is. We have a salary that we get paid. We have certain expenses, and that defines how much home we can afford. So we don't want to mess with the budget all too much because it's kind of a box in some situations. So then we look at location and the home itself. Perhaps a different school district or a different town or something a little bit farther away from the city we'll be able to find the house that we're looking for inside of the budget. Maybe we could look at even just a different section of the town as opposed, like, for instance, if we wanted something south of Montauk Highway or south of Merrick Road, maybe we'd be okay getting something north of Merrick Road or north of Montauk Highway, and that would, even just staying in that same town, staying in that same school district, we could find the house that we want, but a slightly different location in that town. We could also take a look at what our must-haves are. Maybe we can dial them back, and if a fireplace is important, let's say, maybe we don't restrict our viewings to houses that only have fireplaces, but maybe we take a look at houses that have natural gas, or even the possibility of putting in a gas fireplace that has a direct vent right out to the outside. And even we don't even need to limit it to houses that have natural gas because propane is an option. If a fireplace is important, we just need a room that can facilitate a fireplace, something that has an exterior wall, and then incorporate installing the fireplace after you take possession into what we're willing to offer for the home. So we take a look at the must-haves, the nice-to-haves. Can we fix the location? Can we broaden our search a little bit in terms of where we're looking? And if we've done all of that and we still can't find exactly what we're looking for, we might want to compromise a little bit on the amount of love that the home needs. So something, I've referenced this in an earlier video, but something that needs a little bit more work and a little bit more love tends to be a little bit more affordable. And there's two advantages to finding a house that is livable, but maybe not recently renovated. And when you find something that has kitchens, baths, roof, windows, siding that are more than 10 or 15 years old, typically everything in the home is still functional, but it's just not in today's style. And what that means is the two benefits to that are when you make renovations, you make them into your style so you get exactly what you want. The other benefit is building equity, because the amount that you spend on this renovation will increase the amount that the home is actually worth. So if you spend, and this is just hypothetical, there's some studies out there that the National Association of Realtors does, and it dials it into your specific area. But let's just say, hypothetically, we spend $30,000 renovating a kitchen. The house, because you went through the time, the energy, the effort, and spent the money to renovate the kitchen, maybe now the house is worth $45,000 more. So you get a $15,000 build in equity just by redoing the kitchen. And maybe the same goes for the bathroom. Maybe you spend $20,000 on the bathroom, and now the house is actually worth $30,000 more. Same with roof, windows, siding, all the great things inside a house that are aesthetically pleasing. If we find something that needs a little bit of love, you turn it into your own, and you actually build equity faster, and you get more of that equity in your control. You have more control over how you build your equity when you're making improvements to the home, because you're not relying on just the market, right? So we'll do another video. I'm getting kind of into the weeds here. We'll do another video on the 3 ways you can gain equity in your home, and why doing some work on a property that needs it allows you to build equity faster. But let me tell you, I'll just sum up with this. When I'm working with buyers and we find a house that might look a little bit dated, but going through, seeing it through the eyes of my experience, if we can change the light fixtures, refinish the floors, and paint, it'll turn into a brand new house. That is what I love to find for my first time home buyers, because it allows you to exponentially improve your equity, build your wealth, and be a successful homeowner. It allows you so many advantages. I can't even get into it right now, but that's what really gets me. That's what really gets me going. So thank you so much for watching. We've completed the 3 points of the Triangle Homes Law and how they are integrated together, how they work together. And when you take from one, you can gain to another. When you want more of one, you might have to get it from another. If you've liked the content, if you found value in the information, please like, subscribe, give me a comment, ask me a question, and hit that bell so you're always notified of new videos. Thank you so much for watching Real Estate the Right Way with your host, Michael Wright. And as always, tell me what home means to you, and I'll help you get there.